Young Thug had the rap game in a chokehold, ranging from his unique rap flow to crazy fashion sense, making him one of the most influential rappers of our generation, stretching beyond music. But behind the fame, he continuously faced legal issues that have been following him for years. From drug charges to RICO indictments, Young Thug's criminal history is a roller coaster of courtroom battles, unexpected twists, and shocking developments. So let's break down the criminal history of Young Thug, also known as Jeffery Lamar Williams. Young Thug had a couple of run-ins with the law before the fame, but the first publicly known legal issue occurred in 2015, where he was arrested following a police raid at his home in Sandy Springs, Georgia, which would be the first of multiple house raids he would experience. During the raid, police officers found 3 counts of felony gun possession, marijuana, and the magical white dust, cocaine. Fortunately, the case was dropped due to officers performing illegal raids without a proper search warrant. This would be the first of multiple cases Young Thug would beat. In 2017, Young Thug would face another case, but instead of drugs and guns, it was related to a woman. Back on March 5th of 2017, an incident at an Atlanta nightclub involving Thug former employee Valerie Raven claimed she was in a verbal dispute with his former fiancée, Jerica Carly. Then Thugger stepped in and slapped her on the left side of her face, like how Will Smith slapped Chris Rock on stage. Raven then contacted the authorities, but by then Thugger and his ex-fiancée were long gone and nowhere to be found. Unsurprisingly, she still filed a battery report against him. When law enforcement went to review the footage taken in the parking lot, they didn't see any evidence of the rapper making physical contact with the woman, resulting in the case to be dropped, making this another glorious win for Thugger. Young Thug's third arrest happened in 2017, and as you guessed, it was for another drug and gun case. The superstar, along with Gunna and a third suspect, were pulled over on September 26, 2017, for an illegal tint on his 2016 Mercedes Maybach. But as soon as the officers got a whiff of that good Zaza, they started to do a search. During the search, officers discovered 2.5 ounces of marijuana and other drugs, and $50,000 in cash. They were later indicted for the incident in 2018. Young Thug was charged with possession and intent to distribute meth, hydrocodone, and marijuana. Possession of amphetamine, alprazolam, codeine, 2 counts, and a firearm in which he pleaded not guilty, according to multiple sources. Sergio Kitchen, aka Gunna, was charged with an illegal window tint in which he pleaded guilty and received a fine and probation suspended upon full payment of fines and surcharges, and possession marijuana, less of an ounce charge that was nolle prosequi. During the court hearing, the DeKalb County judge ruled that the evidence obtained during the traffic stop should be suppressed, determining that the police did not have a valid reason for the initial stop. Once the state heard of this decision, they appealed the case, which is a person's worst nightmare. The Georgia Court of Appeals approved of this appeal. They reversed the suppression ruling, reinstating the evidence. As a result, the case remained pending, with prosecutors awaiting a court date to proceed. I consider this a win in my books, so Young Thug is 3-0 against the U.S. court system. No one could have imagined what would happen on May of 2022, which would be the month that would shock the entire rap community and change Young Thug life. On May 9th of 2022, Young Thug Atlanta mansion was raided by the feds for gang-related charges. Young Thug and Gunna, aka Sergio Kitchens, were just 2 of 28 people to be charged under Georgia RICO, or Racketeering Act, as part of the 56-count indictment. The Fulton County District Attorney, Fonnie Willis, and federal prosecutors labeled YSL as a criminal enterprise covered as a music label and is really called Young Slime Life. On top of that, they labeled Young Thug as the ringleader of this group and dubbed him King Slime, which is crazy. 2 days after the raid on Young Thug's mansion, Gunna turned himself into the police. He was charged with 1 count of conspiracy to violate the Racketeer, Influenced, and Corrupt Organizations Act. While in jail, both Gunna and Thug were denied bond multiple times throughout the years. A couple months into the arrest of Young Thug, he was hit with 6 additional charges on August 10th, 2022. Those felony charges he faced were participating in criminal street gang activity, violation of the Georgia Controlled Substances Act, firearm possession during a felony, possession of a machine gun, and drug charges. On December 14, 2022, Gunna made a shocking decision that would have fans and other celebrities to turn on him. He pleaded guilty as part of an Alfred plea deal, meaning he can plead guilty while maintaining his innocence. This causes Gunna to admit YSL is not only a music label, but a gang. This caused an uproar throughout the hip-hop community, which caused fans and even other rappers labeling him as a rat and for betraying Young Thug. They really gave him the 691 treatment. Throughout the jury selection process, there were multiple accounts of disturbance in the courts, which caused the selection to take 10 months to complete. A notable instance was on July 18th of 2022, when a YSL co-defendant, Caliph Adams, tried to hand Young Thug a Percocet while in court, which is probably the stupidest thing you could have done. This resulted in Adam being hit with new charges and Thug being scotch-free of anything due to him not taking it. Now going into the case, there's now 6 defendants going to trial, going down from 28 due to pleas deal and other reasons. On May 11th, 2023, Young Thug fell ill during a court proceeding and was briefly hospitalized. All these hardships and circumstances didn't prevent Young Thug from making great music. On June 23rd, he dropped an album called Business is Business that debuted #2 on the Billboard 200, featuring a bunch of his rapper colleagues. Thug had garnered tons of support from both fans and celebrities. He would be mentioned in tons of artist songs, ranging from Gunna to Lil Baby. Speaking of music, on January 11th of 2024, his legal team played one of his songs, Lifestyle, in court, in an attempt to convince the jury this was merely art and he had no legitimate gang ties. July 1st of 2024, his trial was put on hold to await a decision of another magistrate due to his lawyers filing motions to have Superior Court Chief Judge Uriel Glanville taken off the case because he had a meeting with prosecutors and a witness for the prosecution without having any of the defense attorneys or defendants present. 2 weeks have passed and they finally hear back from a magistrate. Judge Rachel Krause ordered Judge Glanville to be removed from the case after Young Thug lawyers argued his secret meeting violated Thugger's rights to a fair trial, which was approved, and the judge was removed on the 15th of July. This is a major turning point in the case, knowing the outcome would be different. 2 days after his removal, the replacement judge, Judge Shakura L. Ingram, recused herself from the case due to her association with Fulton County Courthouse Deputy Akiba Stanley, who had previously been arrested for allegedly trying to smuggle contraband to another defendant. She was then replaced with Judge Paige Reese Whitaker. With a new judge, Young Thug would try his luck to get bail, but sadly was rejected. Not only his bail was rejected, but his mistrial request was too. As the trial continues, more of his co-defendants start taking plea deals in which they all plead guilty to the RICO conspiracy and other charges. This now left Thug and 2 other co-defendants facing trial. On Halloween of 2024, Young Thug entered a blind plea in which he admitted to multiple charges without a prearranged deal. He pleaded guilty to 1 gang charge, 3 drug charges, and 2 gun charges. He also entered a no contest plea to another gang charge and a racketeering conspiracy charge, meaning that he decided not to contest those charges but could be punished as if he had pleaded guilty according to sources. Judge Whitaker gave him a total sentence of 40 years. Originally, he was supposed to serve the first 5 years in prison, but that was commuted to time served and was given 15 years of probation. The remaining 20 years were suspended unless he violated his probation conditions, and the suspended sentence would be reinstated along with possible additional charges. Those conditions were that he avoided the Atlanta era, except for family-related events, performing community service, and refraining from gang-related activities. He is permitted to reside in California and continue his music career, including collaborations with artists like Gunna. Many people believe it wasn't a good deal, but compared to what the prosecutors wanted, it was the best option for him. They wanted to sentence him to 45 years, with 25 years in prison and the remaining 20 on probation. So I believe this was a steal. Young Thug proceeds to thank the judge for giving him another chance, allowing him to go home and promise her he will do right and never be in this type of situation again. The results of the RICO case resulted in previous cases like his 2017 drug and gun case being dismissed. News of his release put the world in a positive frenzy, having fans and celebrities welcoming him back home. One of those celebrities happens to be his girlfriend, Mariah the Scientist, who was by Thug's side through thick and thin. His return wouldn't be possible without his fantastic lawyer, Brian Steele, who has been mentioned in many songs and even modeled for Thug clothing brand, Spider. Another key person in this trial is YSL Woody, who never folded under pressure while being questioned and made this trial entertaining. Young Thug is officially 4-0 against the legal system. There you have it, the entire criminal history of Young Thug. If you enjoy this video, make sure to leave a like and hit the subscribe button below to see more videos just like this in the future. Feel free to smash the notification bell below to be notified when we upload. Feel free to drop a suggestion in the comments for any ideas or to see who to do next.